Well, welcome back to the James and Dame Show, where we are continuing our pursuit of NFL tier lists. This one, we're going to start with the starting quarterbacks from this upcoming year. Just putting them in the tier list, and I think this is going to be great. This is going to go wonderfully, swimmingly. Let's get straight into it. This one, this is all sorted by alphabetical by first name, so if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense to me either. I don't know. Starting with Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell where's he starting again?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Supposedly. I forget.
I was like,
They have someone else there, but I think they're sticking with O'Connell as the starter. I mean, he's D to F because he's like low on the talent meter. And this is no hate for O'Connell. I kind of actually hope he does well, but like he's obviously not a flashy quarterback. He was not superb, but he doesn't need to be superb in that Antonio Pierce offense.
yes.
I think he could do well. He obviously his talent is he's not a fantastic quarterback from what we've seen so far. Could that change? Sure. But I have him D to F. I don't know if we could put him in D and we could decide an F later.
Yeah. I'm going to leave him in D right now.
Because again, he's not very good. He could play. It's just how well can he manage an offense, kind of like Brock Purdy does,
Exactly.
you know. Anthony Richardson. We've seen so little of him.
I'm going to say D as of right now. Or I guess if we're going off of the entire year, that's a D. But if we're talking about talent that we did see, I'm going to say C for right now because we didn't get to see a whole lot of flash from him quite yet.
I would say C, and this is I'm approaching this as I'm approaching ranking these as just if the tier list S to F is just their talent, like how good of a quarterback they are.
That's what I'm saying.
C is about where like he's middle of the road because he could be a lot better, but
He's not
just
terrible.
you don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
And
He hasn't played a full year yet.
We don't know how much he's grown. I would put him above Aiden O'Connell, but I would not put him anywhere above B or higher. I wouldn't put him there. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers.
I would say Aaron Rodgers is more of a. We didn't get to see him play last year.
This is true, but it's Aaron Rodgers. I can't put the lowest I could go is B.
Yeah,
I don't think
say
S.
B because we haven't got to see him play in like a year.
I would still be inclined to argue A just because it's Aaron Rodgers. But again, he suffered an Achilles tear at such an old age.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's also like he took the whole year to recover. It's hard to judge. I would argue for an A, but if you're stuck at B, I can go B.
I'm kind of stuck at B right now.
All right.
Baker. Before we forget, Mahomes is.
Yeah, if we can jump down to Mahomes, put him in S.
And then who was the one you just said?
Oh, Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield actually did better than I thought he would this last year.
Yeah, but
he's not great. He's pretty serviceable right now. He's got to make huge leaps if he wants to submit his application being like a pretty decent quarterback, I guess. So I'm gonna say
C for serviceable.
Stop it. Get some help.
Sure. He's definitely not high B or anything. If he wasn't B, it'd be like very, very low. But he's a solid C for sure.
Well, if we're putting Aaron Rodgers at B,
then
B
Baker Mayfield will be at C.
If B is the Aaron Rodgers, that's like the standard of could make MVP.
That's true.
Maybe isn't like a favorite, maybe is like an outside chance, but yeah. Right now Baker is not, I don't think, like even really considered an outside chance for MVP.
Yes.
Bo Nix, See, this is where it gets interesting because we have to judge
I-
him off college. I really like him.
This is the thing. It's just we're basing this off of NFL experience. I don't know if we want to rank rookies right now because this is one of the categories where it's like you can't assume they're going to be this good in the professional level.
No, but I'm also the way I look at it is we're not assuming how good they're going to be in the pros. This is judging basically how good of a quarterback they are. And it's difficult to do a rookie, and I don't think any rookies will touch A or S or even really B.
No.
They're kind of, to me, in the C to F range. I think Nick's
D right now. Knicks is a D with.
out of all of the rookies,
Well,
I'm inclined to put him actually at the highest of all the rookies.
Knicks.
I have the most faith in Nick's this upcoming year compared to, and I think Jaden Daniels could be good, and it's going to be a scheme thing largely. But I think purely based on talent, again, he's the most experienced. He's one of the winningest quarterbacks. Actually, I think he is. At least at Oregon, I think he was one of the winningest quarterbacks. He's again super experienced. Of course, he's older, but you're comparing him to other quarterbacks who are, Aaron Rodgers in there. Yeah, I don't think age is a concern right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, he has a lot to prove. But I think as far as talent goes, he can run. He has a good deep ball. He's got pretty good strength. Like it's a rookie. We're gonna have to see him play. But if I were to make my guess, he might not have the highest ceiling, but I think he might be the best of the bunch. But that's my opinion. I could argue for him to be up to C, but I don't know. You don't seem very high on Bo Nix.
I don't know. I'm not like I said, I haven't seen them play professionally, so I cannot judge them right now. That's the same thing with like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and everything. They have potential to a certain degree. It's just right now I cannot rank them because they haven't played a snap yet. And also depends on the team that they currently have that they haven't played with. So that's why I'm just like leaving the rookies out of this right now. But I don't know.
I'll take the reins then. I could put him in D. I think he could be. I think there's a good chance he's the best of the bunch. I think he's slept on by a lot because I think some of the other guys just get more hype. But just going on, Brock Purdy.
He's definitely top 10. I don't know where in the top 10 though.
I could put him B. I could get him up to an A. But if we have Aaron Rodgers at B, I think that range is kind of around where he could be. But I don't know. B to A, I don't think he's S right now, and I don't think it's fair to drop him down to C. So that B to A range, depending on what you think.
I think for him, B makes sense.
I guess.
What?
I mean, he did take his team to a Super Bowl, but it's whatever. He's got time to raise the stakes. I with how young he is, B is fine for me. Bryce Young, so hard to judge him with how bad that team was. We'll get so much better of an idea.
I want to put him at D for right now, not because I hate him. I just want.
Well, honestly, I think
does with a decent team.
D is doing him a favor. I think most people want to put him in F, but it's basically like he didn't play a year. It's so hard to judge that. Caleb Williams. I'm arguing D.
Yeah, D, I would say.
Because again, he's got a lot of potential, but I think he's going to struggle. I think he has a lot of problems that he won't get the coaching to fix. I think that'll show. CJ Stroud, he's B or A. I'm good. I would argue B because it was 1 year.
I do agree with that.
And
B because of 1 year.
sophomore slumps tend to happen.
Yes.
So I want to see him this year. If he does as good as he had done, then yeah, he could be A next year. But I need to see him actually continue to do that because, it happens. Sometimes sometimes flukes happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that he is a fluke, but Dak Prescott also.
He's definitely in the top 10 argument. I do want to put him. What do we have? Who's in B right now? We have
Rodgers, Purdy, and Stroud. I would put him in B
I
just
would put
because
him in B just for right now.
for like the inverse of Brock Purdy, where he can't win, but that also is how much is the team.
Yeah.
But I think it's for different reasons they're in the same category.
Yes.
Daniel Jones.
D as the highest. I'm not.
I thought you were gonna go straight for F. I was gonna move him to F.
Yeah, we can move him to F. I said D is the highest. I'm not putting him any higher than that.
I just don't. After last year,
No.
and again, he's only had one decent year where he took his team, and that was a year where they leaned on Saquon. I think they take away Saquon, he's gonna look. That $40 million is gonna look much worse this year than it did last year.
Yeah.
So I think he's F caliber. Derek Carr, C2D. I think
He's a D. I do not have faith in Derek Carr.
I mean, I'm mixed on him because he's done well.
In the past.
Yeah, and I think the Saints team there was not a lot. We went over coaches.
He didn't do anything with the Raiders organization either. Sure, the teams were bad, but you think with him being around for as long as he was, you'd think he'd be developing.
I mean, he took him to again. I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, but he took the Raiders to the playoff twice. I think it was
Twice.
and didn't really do anything there. But again, the Raiders organization was also in a really bad place. The Saints organization is not in a great place right now. He's not. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback, but I think he's in just he's been in bad situations, which is why I would argue C.
Okay.
But
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Derek Carr.
I'm not much either, but I think C to D because he is still a serviceable quarterback.
Very low C. That's where I put him.
All right. Deshaun Watson.
F.
I was going to say D because I wouldn't say he's as bad as... Now, if we're talking contract and the move for him, F. But,
as a person, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. You know what? I'm not going to argue with you there. I'm not going to
people?
advocate for Deshaun Watson anymore. Drake May.
Very low D.
Oh, wait, this isn't... Wait. No, wait. Who am I looking at? Okay, I got confused. I mixed up Drake May and JJ McCarthy real quick. Yeah, Drake May, D.
I'd say all the rookies would go in a D.
Yeah,
I just throw them on there right now because I don't think they would be any higher or lower because we haven't seen them play.
I'm gonna bunch them together though. So look at them. Geno Smith, C.
C is the highest.
He's serviceable. He's good. Like he's on that same realm as like Baker, where he's he can be good, but he's not going to be the guy who's winning you games by himself.
For sure.
You look at the guys he has around him, and he just knows how to use them. And I think that's where you put him. But I think he's up there in C. Jalen Hurts, A.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is definitely an A.
Because at least recently he's been Jared Goff, B. I hesitate to put him above Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott, but I mean he's obviously a very good quarterback.
He's a very good quarterback.
He's valued high, but I don't think should be above those guys and alone with Jalen Hurts.
That's your opinion, but I'll agree with you. I think Jared Goff is really good. So
I also think he's really good, but look at who we have in B. A lot of those quarterbacks are also very good. I mean, I'd put him probably above Dak Prescott, I'd put him probably closer to Brock Purdy. Because, Brock Purdy was close to MVP race. He was close in the MVP race. I think if we have Brock in B, I think Jared Goff also could argue to be in B.
Yeah, that's fair.
Joe Burrow,
He's
A or
definitely
S. No, there's
like S, because like the thing is that the only person that can beat Mahomes is Burrow.
in the playoffs that has been the case. He just needs to stay healthy, which is he's got a knack for season-ending injuries. What is it?
Well, he's only had 2.
He's 2 in what 4 years? That's
Yeah. Well, the first
not
one was his,
nice
first one
numbers.
was his rookie year. The second one was just this last year,
yeah, and then he had 2 years in between where he was healthy. But again,
where he was actually
2 season-ending injuries is concerning. But I think, first year was you didn't have an O-line.
Yeah, first year he was.
That's what you get for not having an O-line. This last year was a freak accident, and conspiracy theories maybe was aggravated already. I don't know. But I think he can stay healthy. I think it's been unfortunate.
Yes.
But I think if you get a third, you get concerned. But other than that, he's not a fun quarterback to play against.
No.
And he can pretty much carry a team. So I would say S. Jordan Love,
B.
for the same reason CJ Stroud, B, is he's had the one good year. And yes, he did. He was great in the playoffs. Can he do it more than once?
Can he replicate that?
Can he also
repeat it?
improve in the regular season? Because he was not great in the
He
regular
was
season. He threw a lot of games away.
dog shit.
Literally.
First half of the season, he was dog shit.
But I can see both sides, which is why I'm like, B, he could be really
he can
good.
be good. I
need to see him continue to
He
do
has
growth.
to. He has to repeat it. And
If he's
continue
going to be
apply.
the next great Packers quarterback, like the prophecy proclaimed, he needs to actually take a step forward.
Win a Super Bowl and be mediocre for the next 20 years.
But
50,
here's the
50
thing: those
years.
quarterbacks weren't. Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre weren't mediocre. The team maybe was unable to win, but those quarterbacks were still great. I mean, how many times did Aaron Rodgers win MVP?
A bunch of times, but MVPs don't mean anything when it comes to Super Bowls, though.
Yes, but as in the argument of how good of a quarterback he is, I still think he was.
Yeah, he was still really
good
good. He's just one of those ones where he should have won multiple.
He should have, but I think that goes down to also coaching and team management.
That's why I said Mike McCarthy is such a terrible coach.
Call back to that. Josh Allen, at least A.
Yeah,
I mean,
A. He's not S. He's definitely A.
The
he's
only
gonna regress a little bit this year because of how young his team is going to be.
And he lost a lot, but
Yeah,
the one thing holding him back from S, in my opinion, is he turns the ball over too much.
and he loses to Mahomes all the time.
Yeah, but that could be coaching. That could just be Mahomes is just that good. I don't think you can.
Or they're just getting that lucky. I don't know.
Comparing head-to-head quarterbacks, which is why Joe Burrow I didn't put an S because he can beat Patrick Mahomes, who's also an S. It's also he's just that good of a quarterback.
Yes.
Josh Allen I think is right there. If he can minimize the turnovers and truly lead his team, then I think he could be that guy.
Yeah.
I think he could be up there. But right now, putting him in A. Justin Herbert, I really want him in. Well, I won't put him in A because he hasn't proven it yet, but I think he could be an A-tier quarterback.
He could be.
He is a great quarterback. He's just had a horrible team.
Yep.
His organization has been dog shit. Dog shit.
I'd say a solid B.
Yeah, he needs a good year. And I don't know that this is going to be the year because who is he throwing to?
I don't know.
Lad McConkey and no, they got Joe Alt. So Lad McConkey.
And a couple other people he took in.
Yeah, a couple other guys, but Quentin Johnston. Maybe Harbaugh can actually help him catch.
Maybe
Maybe that's what he's doing this offseason. They just stuck him in front of a catching machine.
the ball.
He's everyone else is working routes and stuff, and he's just there in front of the catching machine. He's like, "You don't leave until you catch 10 in a row." And he's just like, "Please, please," and
he just continues to drop them.
they just faster and faster, and they're like, "Catch him!" Oh god. But yeah, he'll be interesting. I still think he's a phenomenal quarterback and he could be an MVP race candidate if he just gets the right team around him.
Yep.
And coaching.
I do agree with that.
Kirk Cousins.
B.
Last year, he would have probably been B to A.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm kind of looking at him as a B to C.
B right
He's dropped off.
He's in the middle right now because I don't know if that injury is going to completely destroy his career or if it's just a blip on the radar and he's going to stay consistent.
True, and it's also he doesn't have as great of weapons. He's going into a completely new scheme.
He's getting weapons older in Atlanta. What do you mean?
Compared to Justin Jefferson?
I know compared to Justin Jefferson, but that's one player to a whole roster.
We also had Jordan
up.
Addison, and he had T.J. Hawkinson. Like he had really good weapons.
I know. I'm just saying that the Falcons have been rebuilding for a long time. They have more young talent, is what I'm saying.
They do, and Drake London we know is good. It's just the Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. If they can be utilized properly, are they actually any good? We haven't seen that. That's why I'm skeptical. But I would still argue he had better weapons in Minnesota. Point being, I think there's a lot, and I think there's a big chance that he could drop down a tier in the next year. But I'm fine leaving him at B. I just don't.
He's not
skeptical
any
right now.
lower, and right now he's not going to go any higher right now. So.
Kyler Murray, I'd say C, but I think he could be on the verge of a B as the team is rebuilding.
C right now. I'm not putting him any higher right now.
No,
he hasn't had the team. He also hasn't proven a whole lot to me. He had that 1 year where the Cardinals were pretty decent, but other than that.
Well, then you had the following year where they were just bad, and he had an injury, and then he came back halfway through the year with another bad team and still looked pretty solid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now you actually have the team that's building up. We look over the next year or two, and then I think we'll have a better idea of who he really is.
I'd say C for right now. I'm not going to put him any higher.
C, because, yeah.
He's got to prove himself.
He's kind of more in, like, the same realm as, like, Anthony Richardson right now, maybe.
I think that's fair.
Lamar Jackson, I'm going to argue A.
I'm gonna say A for right now because he disappointed me this last season, but he did better than what he usually does. So I'm gonna say
just to show what good coaching will do. Yeah, I would put him in A. I don't think he deserves to be down to B.
No,
but
he's not a B, but he's definitely an A.
The S is just there's
only two people I would put in S, and that's Burrow and Mahomes.
Yeah, I understand the argument of he needs to actually like win something. That is one of the cases where I'm like, if he wants to get up to S, he needs to actually
to do something with that.
But again, I also give the caveat of again, a lot of the Ravens losing that game to the Chiefs was coaching.
It was very much coaching. I watched that entire game. Like, what are you guys doing?
So that's why I'm like,
you're overcompensating for everything.
When it comes to disappointment, that was not that to me. I was disappointed in the Ravens. I wasn't really disappointed in Lamar. But again, that team needs to grow. They're opening up into a passing scheme more, and that team had not been that for a while, so they're getting used to it.
They're transitioning right now.
So I think they could take this step forward, and I think he could look a lot better. But I agree. He needs to actually win something, maybe get a Super Bowl appearance before he could get in that S-tier conversation. Matthew Stafford, I love the man. He's getting older. Highest would be like a B.
I'd say he's a very,
low.
very low B.
Yeah.
Only because I know he hasn't been there in a hot minute, but Super Bowl, he did a fantastic year with the Rams. He's been pretty consistent when he's not injured. I mean, it also happens to be great when you have Puka Nacua to throw to all the time.
And Cooper Kupp.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's got great weapons, and he's not, like, slow. He's not like Ben Roethlisberger slow. He's more like, I don't know. He was definitely more agile than Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger. That's
absolutely. Sure. He's actually not that. He's
not that slow.
He's fast, but he doesn't use his feet that often.
No.
And what I love is his mentality He's such a tough guy, but he's also nice. Like, he's not an asshole, but he's tough. He's the
nice
kind of
about it.
he's the guy that will, like, if he scrambles, he will run at you and he will lower his shoulder and he'll like run through you. But then at the same time, he'll get up.
Stafford knocking over defenders. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but then he'll also get up and then he'll go celebrate with his team like a super nice guy. And he's not like an asshole, but he will defend his team. He's a good guy, but with a tough mentality, and I love that. And he's also just good at football. I'd put because of his age, I'd put him at B.
Yeah.
On the low end, kind of closer to like some other guys there. Russell Wilson. This is the interesting thing. There's also some guys that are moved into backup roles that aren't on here that I almost want to throw in here. I won't.
The backups right now.
This is one of the
Russell Wilson.
It's very interesting.
C. I'm not going to put him any higher because Denver was a disaster. That entire thing was a disaster. I don't care if they came back a little bit halfway through this last season. Russell Wilson has become a liability, especially on that team. Yes, it was just poorly coached that first year. This last year, it was just Sean Payton was not getting along with Russell Wilson. He wanted him gone. So I don't know what he goes from there. I know the Steelers are very optimistic when it comes to Russell Wilson being the quarterback and everything, but I'm just like, do you really want this guy to be your starting quarterback? I'd rather have Justin Fields starting.
I really think that a lot of it is them trying to draw attention because I do think they're legitimately just like, we're going to start Russell Wilson for half the season. And if he's not doing well, because all they need, he needs to take 51% of the snaps at quarterback.
Yep.
And if he does that, Steelers don't have to pay the Bears, like they don't have to move up. Because it's a conditional.
It was the trade deal.
Yeah, it's a conditional pick. So if the Steelers can be like, get a sixth for Justin Fields, who could be our future, yeah, we can play Russell Wilson for half the season. Plus, it's a team that has not gone below 500
in a long time, yeah.
Mike Tomlin hasn't. And so for that reason, I think even if Russell Wilson, first 8-9 games, they're like 4-5, then they'll pull and put in Justin Fields and they'll manage to get over 500.
Yeah.
And then if he does well, so be it. But I don't think he's great, and I could definitely see him getting benched, and I can see him starting just for that reason and to let Justin Fields develop.
That's probably what's going to happen, honestly.
But I don't think he's horrible. I just think he's in a situation where he's on a hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Justin Fields breathing down his neck. Justin Fields does not like to sit behind quarterbacks.
No, he wants to play.
He is a very competitive dude. I would not be surprised to see him start several games this year. But I can see C because I still think he's a serviceable quarterback.
He's definitely serviceable, but he's not good anymore. He hasn't been what he has been before Denver.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, Mr. Moneybags.
B.
I agree. He needs a year to prove himself. But
he's not that great.
I disagree on the fact that he hasn't proven how great he is. I think he could be great.
He just needs to have that one more year where it sticks to him as being an A-tier quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not saying he should be A-tier. I'm just saying I think he's good. I just don't think he's had the chance to prove it. I think he's kind of close to Justin Herbert.
I agree.
Similar. Tua. Also B. Just because I'm like, he's Tyreek Hill.
He's hot and cold.
He's
never been consistent.
He's someone who hasn't won. But again, how much is that coaching? I see him in the same kind of realm. I mean, he's won a lot. Maybe more of like a Dak Prescott, but it's that same realm to me.
Yes.
And Will Levis. Super interesting. He's not gonna get the nod of B, but
no,
I could put him up to a C.
C is the highest I'm going with Will Levis right now.
It's very difficult to judge him. He gives me again the sort of vibe of just the super tough-minded He's a worker. I
He's a
respect
worker.
that.
I do respect that mentality.
The talent is just hard
It's
to tell.
questionable.
Because who do they? I mean, they have DeAndre Hopkins, but he's aging.
They got a couple of pieces.
They've got Calvin Ridley now, but I think that team is going to be very much improved.
They're not going to be like 9-8 though. They're probably going to be like more 6-11.
That's where I could
7-10.
expect them. I could see their ceiling 9-8,
Their ceiling is definitely 9-8. They're not
9-8, 10-7 maybe, but
They're definitely going to improve.
they're not going to be great. But I think they're going to be much improved. I just don't know how to judge Will Levis, but I think because I think he's better than the guys in D. Those being looking at not the rookies, Aiden O'Connell, Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I think I could put him as a C.
C is fine.
So, do we have anyone we want to move?
Not really.
I think S is
I'm cool with what
perfectly fine.
I'm fine with S and A right now.
The only one, okay, if I were to move any, we're not going to touch the rookies. If I were to move any, it would literally be Aaron Rodgers or Brock Purdy up to A, but that would be it. And if not, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Purdy's the only one that could move up to A, but I'm not so sure about Aaron Rodgers right now.
That's fair.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in a long time.
It's been a while, that's true. It's just also, it's Aaron Rodgers. Man, as much as I want to hate him, he's very good at quarterback. He's very good at what he does.
He's very quarterbacky.
He's a very quarterbacky quarterback.
Yep.
But
Well, I'm cool with what we have.
you want to leave Brock Purdy at B?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, this is our list.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. We still
Obviously-
hate Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones.
Yep. The thing is that this is pre-season. This isn't like official because we haven't seen them play so far. So don't get up all over our butts because we just decided to just throw people in. Because like we said, there's a lot of guys on here that haven't played the entire year, specifically Rodgers, Burrow, who else?
Cousins.
Cousins, Murray.
Daniel Jones. Oh, and Deshaun Watson. Both of them. I forgot.
My point still being is that there's people who haven't played the entire year, rookie or injury, and then there's a whole lot of other situations. So
Yeah, this is none of this actually means
this is like
anything.
the draft, like the beginning works of finally making a tier list at the end of the season.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
None of this means really anything. This is just how we view these quarterbacks,
As of now.
how we value each quarterback. There's just like a range, and some fit in others. I view Baker Mayfield equally as I view Geno Smith. That's just how it is. That's the insight on how I view it. Whatever. You disagree, you go in the comments. You tell me how stupid we are.
Tell me I'm dumb.
Do it.
Tell me I'm dumb.
Where would you put Michael Penix on this list?
F. Terrible.
I don't
Bad.
think that's fair. You just don't like the pick. I think that's unfair.
Well, yeah, I don't like the pick at all. There's a lot of things I don't like, but that's just me.
You're gonna hate Michael Penix for his entire career just because of the way the Falcons picked him.
If he does well, I won't hate him. I just hate him right now.
It's not his fault, man.
It's always been his fault. He's the one who stayed later in college. I mean, I'm right.
Yeah, and he earned a first-round pick for it. So I think it's fair, but anyway.
He's not supposed to be a first pick. He was supposed to be second round pick.
They said that about Bo Nix. Yes, they did. But yeah, this is again purely our opinion. We don't know really anything, and anything can happen. So there's very good chance. I would guarantee all of this is different by next year.
Oh, for sure. There's no way.
Most importantly, is Aaron Rodgers even going to be on this list next year, or is he going to be retired?
I don't know.
Or
We'll figure it
Matthew
out.
Stafford. Who knows? There's a lot of young. Anyways,
That's all I got.
yeah, this is all. Just don't. You can call us dumb all you want, but just calm down.
No,
Okay.
I will never. But-
Man's livid. Look at him. Yep. That is all we have for this tier list for quarterbacks. See a couple more coming up soon. But yep, that is all. We'll see you guys in the next video where we'll cover probably some other sort of tier list. I don't know.
To be determined.
To be determined. See you guys next time.
See ya.